Hello, Disc Golf World. Thank you for joining us here at OTB TV coverage for our presentation of the PDGA Pro World Championships presented by Grip 6. I'm Greggy Biscuits.
And I'm Zoe AnDyke.
Very excited to have you in the booth with me, Zoe. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me join. I just absolutely get so fired up and excited watching this FPO coverage. We're super thankful for OTB to be here at the World Championships and to be producing these rounds. So thanks for having me today.
Thanks for being a part of this. Shout out to GK Pro with the drone flyover. We appreciate this so much. We're seeing the drone flyover again. One of these OB areas that the fort does feature, which is created an island here on hole 1.
Yeah, and this is a great starting hole. It kind of prepares the player for all the trouble just from the very get-go. This is not a super long hole. Almost every player in both the MPO and FPO field can reach this basket, and it's just about choosing the correct speed and what disc you want to weave through those trees in.
Yeah, 315 feet, it's definitely reachable. You can see the basket off of the tee. But with many of these holes at the fort, there's lots of trouble as you get closer to the pin. But no trouble there for Ella Hansen. Starts off day 3 with a park job.
Parking it, just an incredible way to start your confidence off right. And here we have Jessica Weese throwing the sidearm. And the players have to get all the way over the water. And if you're actually touching the bank, you're going to be inbounds. You have to be completely surrounded by water to be out of bounds. If the player lands in out of bounds, they advance to the drop zone. No problem there for Jess, though. And got Heather Young right here, our left-handed prodigy featured pro.
I believe it's about 250 feet to carry that last edge of the OB once you are near this footbridge that you see coming into focus on Maria's drive. She's in the safe zone. Green flag from the spotter.
Yes, and it was great out at the fort. We had plenty of volunteers. The spotters had lots of great energy, doing the best job that they could. You know, it's already tough enough playing the fort and being out in this heat. It's absolutely vital that you have good spotters with professional skills, and these guys were doing a good job for us out there.
Yeah, shout out to all the volunteers all weekend doing that necessary work to make the tournament happen. Jumping in the water when necessary, retrieving frisbees. Good effort all around. No twos yet, but there's Jessica collecting her. Actually, that's from the drop zone, so that's a 4.
Ella lining up her birdie putt here. No problem. Love to see that start.
Yeah, I guess I was wrong there. Jessica had made it to that safety zone, so that was just her regular 3. Heather Young on the card, Maria Oliva, Jessica Weese, and Ella Hansen. Definitely excited to have high-quality FPO coverage all week long. Here we go. It's hole 2. We've got another water carry, a little more dramatic this time. Coming from the gold tee, just to clarify. Players will push across this 201-foot hole, trying to reach the green. There is an OB area behind the basket, designated by the road.
Yeah, and even though, again, it's a short hole, this is a pretty technical shot. There's a little bit of water to worry about in front of you, but more so the OB that you just talked about behind the basket. It's nice that they've put that kind of red mulch that you see there so that discs don't skip too far, but just beyond the logs is OB. So players have to choose the speed of their disc wisely.
Yeah, keeping the height control here, very critical. A lot of players kind of anticipating a catch from that telephone pole, trying to hit the target there at the base of the basket. Heather gets a little hung up.
So far, yeah, not too many problems for these players. They've chosen their disc. They've had their practice rounds. They've already been to the fort. At this point, earth, hoping for confident shots.
Big skip off the log there on Maria's drive, but she makes it up to the top shelf. As we see Ella and Heather give their up shots. Again, it's early in the round. You want to get a 2 here on hole 2. Maria's just low with her bid.
Just short. But was in position, no damage to the scorecard. Tough footing here for Jessica Weese. Able to cash in that birdie, though, putting her to the top of the box. And again, kind of early birdies equal early confidence. And this course 100% requires the player to be in a confident space. If you're trying to play the fort and you have doubt or worry, the fort will eat you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Nobody wants to be served out like that. Not here. Not on day 3. Here we go. The drone flyover taking us in on this 258 par 3. Again, a couple ways to attack the basket here, Zoe. You can take the hyzer line on the right. You can turn over your mid-range up the middle. So you see Jessica kind of attack that center line. Let's see what Ella lines up. Straight at it.
Straight at it with the slower speed disc there. And wow, look at that spot. This is exciting. Players feeling good after releasing a shot like that. Now we have Heather Young stepping up. She's choosing the backhand lefty line.
Now, how does the player's strategy...
Gets herself in pretty...
This is the second day at the fort. How does the player's strategy change from day 1, Zoe? As we see a great shot there from Maria off the tee. We're going to get a replay of that real quick.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's check this one out first. I am loving this shot. It's absolutely my favorite line to take it. I love that low hyzer. You get just a little bit of ground play, a little bit of skip in, and give yourself a chance for that birdie. And, it's these first 3 holes are the confidence builders or the boosters. Day 3 at the fort is a time to be smart but aggressive, a little more aggressive than day 1. Players are knowing that the cut line is going to happen after tomorrow's round at Mulligan's. And, it's really about saving strokes and capitalizing when you can. And if you're not lacing lines at the fort, you really have to get yourself right back into the fairway and into position. Awesome birdie there. Look at that for Ella Hansen.
2 out of the first 3 holes
That's a great way to...
for Hansen. That's a good start.
That's a great start. And having those kind of comfort strokes going into the first 2 hardest holes on the course. Just the first 2 of many, many more.
And again, we see that positioning there for Maria for her birdie look. And it was nice and easy, just the way we like it here. Heather will get her par. And Jess is in for a
Jessica
par.
tapping out as well.
And we're off to hole 4.
These players are in pretty good position so far. Nobody's bogeyed. Everybody's either even or just a little bit under. And hole 4 is a beast. Let's hear about it. Let's hear about this par 4.
First big test, 530 feet. As you see the GK Pro drone take us over the landing zone you initially want to hit to set up your second shot, which is going to test the green in circle 2. But this is definitely a test for our players early on in the round. Played as the second most difficult hole here on day 3.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Greg, because this hole is seriously the first one that can shake a player. Let's see how Ella attacks. Hoping to get right down the middle. And decent. I was getting ready to say anything off of this fairway. Literally, you want to just take a putter or a slow speed disc and get yourself right back into position. Otherwise, you're asking for more trouble.
Yeah, we definitely saw our players struggle with this tee pad on day 1. There was already a pretty considerable backup at this point. So as you can see, a crowd has gathered here on day 3 as well. slowing down that rhythm you initially can kind of set up on those first 3 holes. Heather with a nice drive to the center of the fairway.
Yeah, I was excited to see that left-handed line well executed there. Ella having to take a knee, kind of in a tricky position, but I think she's gotten herself back onto the side of the fairway.
And Jessica advances nicely up the fairway there. You can actually see the next group ahead of them, finishing up on the green. That was a great shot from Jess.
That was almost too good of a shot there. She's catching up to the group in front of her.
Yeah, really incredible. Heather with similar line. She'll have a nice look for her third shot.
And Ella, unfortunately, having to take a knee again. She's got that low ceiling and really needs to get this one around the corner. All right.
Yeah, and the initial mistake off the tee in the fort really tests your concentration as you get back to the fairway, because it can easily turn into multiple strokes.
And that upshot worked out pretty good for Maria, even though she clipped a little bit of foliage there. She is still on the fairway. And Ella just giving it an upshot, hoping it'll slow down, going a little farther than she wanted. Could be an obstructed putt.
We see Heather with the forehand and maybe gets a favorable kick backwards. So she'll actually have a little bit better look at the basket.
Yeah, that was a good kick. And Maria taking a long jump putt just to get herself in position and possibly give it a little bit of a bid. That's a great play. She's under the basket. And Jessica is lining up just the hyzer upshot here.
Just a little bit short and an unfortunate rollback off of that tree. She'll have some work to do back there.
And Heather is just trying to get under the basket here. She's done with this hole and wants to just get her bogey and get out of town.
Yeah. Hole 4 was a tough task on day 3 for the entire FPO field. Ella here.
And as I mentioned, she was in a little bit of a tough position with the footing.
That was
that's
be
enough
for
to
her
just
par.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're not going to see one on this card, and no birdies on the day on hole 4 at the fort.
That was so disappointing for Maria. She almost carded the par, but unfortunately will be tapping in the bogey.
She had done a great job.
She
really played the hole well, and then just a little high off the band there.
Yeah.
Jess is in for her bogey. And as you were mentioning during the intro, the fort begins to show its teeth in the form of its trees.
Yep. And, all these players are tapping out on hole 4 just to walk into an even tighter par 4 version on hole 5 here. Let's hear about it, Greg.
Exactly. 450 feet, par 4. You can see this log feature with the bullseye. It's not exactly where you want to aim. You want to be getting your disc up to this landing zone to make the dog-leg left and eventually approach this guarded green with water behind Zoe. And once again, there's natural OB. When you end up in the rough here, you really have to make a decision and you really have to be disciplined how you're going to get back to the fairway.
Yep, that is absolutely correct. And, I think it's kind of unique. I've never seen another disc golf course with actual metal printed landing zones on the ground. But if you're getting up to that landing zone, you are in position.
I heard from a few players, though, who were within inches of that plate, and it didn't seem like it was really that advantageous to be there. Still required a very skillful shot from there. Maybe a little bit of luck.
Nothing easy about this hole whatsoever. Even having that target and down log, it makes the fairway even smaller because that airspace just off the ground has been now taken away from you.
Ella, one of these players who was found a tree off the tee, so she is doing work on the left side.
Great position, though. That was a good spot to put herself back into the fairway. Looks like Maria has to pull off the same shot, even more obstructed.
And that was a good angle to remember that there is still that mandatory there just past the log with the bullseye marker on it. So if you're over on the left and there you see that marker, you really have to do work to get back into the fairway. Jess.
Wow.
Battling here against hole 5.
Incredible commitment there. Tough shot to pull off either way. They're on the sidearm approach, and then she's just put her whole body into it. Oh, man, tough little tree kick there for Heather. Just chipping her way up the fairway. Still quite a ways out of circle 2 there, though. As we now are looking at Ella, and you can see her second shot did get to that kind of, quote, landing zone. So she chose the sidearm to try to weave through that guarded green.
And she's all the way up to circle 1. Great shot from Ella.
Baby. We love it. Ooh, this is a very guarded, very tough shot for Maria.
Very technical forehand there.
Through the first set, yeah.
And that's really good advancement from the positioning she had there. Again, pinched off. And we see again natural OB here in the rough at the fort. And Jessica's fighting to get that forehand
really
up.
Tough position for.
And she's just on the edge of circle 2, probably from there.
I think so. I think you're right.
All right, Heather.
Man, the fort.
Yeah, and again, you really can't let your guard down for a moment. Once again, we remind that there is OB behind here. We need this to get down, and it does. Nice approach there from Maria.
Awesome. And you know, there's no easy shot here. A lot of times people think, oh, you're in the middle of the fairway, you just got to throw a putter up to the green. Well, just doing that is just as hard as the tee. Oh.
Amazing bid from Jessica there. She really, really wanted that to go in. Try and salvage a few strokes here. Nice putt there from
a tester
Heather.
putt.
Great par there from Heather Young.
That's a distance that when you're at the World Championships, you want to be dialed in making, because that stroke really makes a difference in the field, is making those edge of circle putts.
And only a 6% birdie rate here on hole 5.
That is a really low birdie rate, and that just tells just how difficult this hole is.
Jess, looking to get this hole over with, move on to hole 6. Bang. Unfortunately, it's in for double bogey,
that is
but
exactly.
we want to see it go into the basket at that point, don't we, Zoe?
Absolutely. I mean, you got to stop the bleeding on some of these holes, and to cash in that putt, that was a tough comebacker, and you're happy to see that putt go in.
Regular bogey for Maria, and we are off to hole 6. 324 feet. You see our GK drone showing you the sort of central line, but again, I think we've come up with at least 6 to 8 ways to access this basket, and they all involve a little luck once you get to this about 3/4 point where, again, great variety of trees guarding the pin, including this cluster, which has come into play a few times on day 1.
Yeah, this is I like that you mentioned there's a lot of different ways to try to attack this hole, but no matter where you find yourself looking down the fairway, every gap is tiny, and there's a lot of luck involved. Certainly you want to hit your line, but then even a perfect looking line may not get through.
And I have to admit, we were a little confused here. The merging point between hole 6 and hole 7, Ella tried for that sky route, and I believe I actually got a little confused with the drive from hole 7. But she's going to end up on the right. She's going to end up on the right side, and she'll have a look from circle 2's edge. So we see Heather's drive, and Maria, I think, is going to line up this central Annie route. Needs it to flip. Little stable.
I like that.
She should
Yeah, it's stabled out a little more than she wanted. I do like that line, though. I think that it's probably the most airspace.
Yep. If you see that sort of bushy tree, there's a window above there, which is probably the biggest gap on the left side. The second biggest gap probably being the road play bottom right. Here we see that left gap I was talking about.
Yeah. Maria gets a chance to take it now from her second shot.
Just gets hung up. She'll be on the edge of circle 1 there.
Step out forehand. Heather's lining up, I think. Yep. She's going to have to go around that tree. Oof. Oh, man.
That was a tight window to hit. Here we see where Ella actually ended up sort of plinkoed down from the tops of the trees, but whoa, great upshot here to reach that little guardian cluster on the right side of the green.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
And there for Heather's third shot. Yep. She's up there now.
All right, here's Jess's second shot. And again, it's one of those opportunities where you're lined up and then that little invisible branch just jumps up and grabs your disc. Maria's bid.
Oh. She's definitely disappointed. It looked like it came out of her hand a little bit early there.
Yeah, putting's so critical.
You do all this work to get up to the basket and then to not capitalize on the putt. This is when the course really starts wearing you down.
It's unfortunate bogey there for Maria, as you can see some disappointment on her face. Ella with the step out. And she's in for par.
Yeah. For the par. Pars are gold.
We definitely saw that step out putt prove to be difficult for our players on day 1. Nice concentration there from Ella to get it in the basket. As we see the rest of the card tap out. And we'll head up the hill to hole 7. It's another par 3.
Probably one of the scariest tee pads in the entire world of disc golf.
It's 345 feet. Maybe playing a little shorter than that with the elevation, but again, really tough to pick a line. But you have to stay committed to your stroke here. Angle control is critical, Zoe.
Yeah, it's easy for a player to actually throw this drive too far. And as you can see, there's the river just beyond. I mean, the river's in the circle. So out of bounds can easily happen off the drive if you pipe one down there. And it's also just as equally difficult to get a drive into the circle just because a very, very tight line on the right-hand side all the way up the fairway to get through.
Now, see, Ella ends up coming out maybe a little early and maybe a little bit of this overstability at elevation, pushing her disc to the left side fairway, which is not where you want to be here on hole 7. Heather flexes her drive up that right side gap, and she gets pretty far down the fairway, but again, she'll be off in the rough. And that was looking sweet from Maria, but again, trees come in all different sizes here at the fort.
Yes, and kick your disc all different places.
In just a matter of inches, Jessica narrowly avoids the same tree, and she'll be in a little bit of better position than Ella, but it'll be interesting to see how Hansen gets out of trouble over on the left side. Here's Maria. She can really get a good look at that right side gap, and it's a nice shot. But again, the work's not done here at the fort, as you see this log feature which blocks almost every putt from one side of circle one.
Yes. Everything that is short of pin high is an obstructed putt. Can't tell you how many players either made or missed the basket without even being able to see it just due to that down log.
All right, here we go. Coming in hot from Ella. She actually gets all the way to the green, but a little too far. And there, as you mentioned, water is in circle one, and the disc is unfortunately also there.
Dang. Penalty stroke there for Hansen on her upshot. Heather from the rough, just trying to get over that log.
This is a big moment for Ella here. Oh, what a good putt. Again, frustration after your disc goes OB. You've got to remain calm. Talk about that, Zoe.
Well, I mean, that's the moment where it's kind of like the make or break in the moment. And I love that we just got to see Ella cash in on that putt, because if that were to be a missed putt, not only would it be another stroke on the card, but it's chipping away hard at the confidence block. And the fact that she just made that putt and was able to gather all of her concentration, that's the stuff that it really takes to get through the entire rest of this course. Whereas if you're going to let the forward in your head early, you're not going to make it through with a very clean scorecard. So that was a very clutch and very crucial putt for Ella Hansen there.
Okay, let's see what Maria can do here to save par.
Maria over the Oh, no.
You have to keep it up to avoid the log, but it's just a little too high and off the band.
And Heather, same idea here, just a little bit lower side of the log, but has to go up and over. We call that a little elevator putt.
In for her
she
par.
Makes it. All right.
Nice putt there from Heather, as we'll see Maria tap out. And again, that moment for Ella. She's back to even on the front nine. Trying to keep the round together. Still a lot of golf left here at the World Championships.
I know that this is a lot of ladies' first tournaments.
So many new female players.
Bigger women's divisions, more women's divisions. We're all coming out here to do it together, and that's what's pretty cool. The sport's just growing, and it's exciting to see.
It's 310 feet, par 3, played as the 8th most difficult hole on day 3. And there's no mandatory here, but there's definitely some clear windows that players are really going to have to commit to their line, whether it's the ante line or a forehand.
Yes. And off to the left-hand side, you see some down logs just deep in left of that fence. Just on top of those logs is an out-of-bounds string line, which, if you do make it through the gap and somehow your disc hyzers out, there's trouble to be found over there. This is, getting out of the gap is the first feat. And a lot of players chose slower speed discs just to avoid that OB problem. Heather's committed to a full backhand drive here. That's actually the advantage of the left-handed shot.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets up there pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I think she's in that sort of, again, we can call like a natural bunker.
Yes.
Trees and mulch there on the right. So it'll make her footing a little tricky. Here's Jessica taking a run at the basket. Oh, amazing drive there from Weese. Let's see it again in slow-mo. Wow, she just pured this gap.
Love watching her throw those full body commitment forehands.
Stands up just enough to get that glide needed on hyzer. Oh, and it's just really attacking circle one. Great shot there from Jessica.
Wow. Great, definitely. And maybe one of the best shots that our entire field saw on this hole.
Absolutely. And Ella, again, trying to get up past that wall. It's really tough. Your throw has gotten all the way out into the openness of the fairway and then skips against that wall. Maria gets the height right there, and she's all the way up to the edge of circle one herself.
That was pretty sweet. She's happy with that, giving herself a chance at the birdie.
There's Heather doing work here.
Nice and easy. Love to see it next to the basket if it's not in. There's some stress-free.
There's that string line you were talking about, Zoe. Yeah, nothing's easy out here at the fort, and with Ella's shot there, she catches a little bit of that down slope, but she should be in position there for the putt.
Yes. And Maria for the birdie.
Oh, yeah. That's what you need to get the round going. A nice circle one
Wahoo!
hit and a 2 for Oliva.
And that really helps. You know, she's had a little bit of trouble, a couple of bogeys, and that one right there is a boost.
Yeah, she's bookended 4 bogeys with 2 birdies, and she's looking to capitalize on that positive trend here with the 2 on hole 8.
Jessica for her birdie, and she's in.
Man,
awesome drive.
What an epic shot that would have been with a hole-in-one, but very impressive 2 there, both from Maria and from Jessica.
Mm-hmm. And not a lot of aceable holes out here at the fort, but certainly this one is. If you're peering that line off the tee, you have a chance.
Oh, and I think Ella knew that was going in the whole time. She was already picking up her marker as that was still in the air. Confident stroke there from Hansen.
Awesome. And just a little tap in here for Heather for her par. No damage on her scorecard.
All right.
And we're getting close here to rounding out the first half.
That's right. We're coming to the end of the front 9, and lo and behold, what do we find here at the fort? None other than a par 5, 728 feet. To me, it's basically like 2 holes in one. You really need to have good control off the drive, access this landing area at least by your second shot, and that's a little bit where the decision making comes in. You can follow the drone here as it goes left. There's a right side fairway. I think we're going to see a lot of the players follow this line of the drone. Zoe, what are they thinking?
Well, players have to break this hole down like you talked about. It's almost like 2 fairways in one. Off of the tee, even though you need incredible distance, if you're going for that corner landing zone off the drive, you're throwing full power and hoping that everything goes perfect. But I do know that a lot of players in our field chose to disc down to either a fairway or a mid-range just for perfect placement so that they could put all their chips on their second shot to get far up around the corner. Again, it just depends on how the player wants to attack this par 5, because you can get into a lot of trouble just in this first half of the fairway. There's OB all the way on the left if you hyzer out, and then all of those trees on the right-hand side.
Yeah, we see our players. I believe this is Ella disking down, possibly with the origin. Trying to get it to flip a little bit. And she finds herself on the left side fairway. Now, Jessica was lining up the full power drive, but was a little low, so she got hung up early and will have some work to do to get back to the landing zone.
And that is a tough stance. Look at that shot. It's so hard to get power when you have to take such a step out stance like that. And Jess really cranked it on there and got up to the corner.
And you can see that mandatory designated by that arrow at the end of the fence. Heather gets out to that landing area we were describing earlier, setting up the third shot. Maria was in good position on the right side, so trying to bite off a little bit more around this dogleg to the left.
That's fantastic. I mean, that is exactly what her notebook must have said, because being up that far on your second shot is kind of a dream come true for this par 5.
And I guess Jessica just really had to lay up there because she was too pinched off by that mandatory. We'll see her fourth shot here. Again, kind of in between the right and left fairways. I think she skips to the right side, so she'll have to deal with the mound, which protects the front edge of circle 1. Heather skipping left. Should be in a good spot there.
And yeah, that's the more open side of the fairway, so that's good. Ella, a full power attacking with the forehand as well.
Wow, and she gets it all the way up to circle 2. Again, we'll have that mound to deal with, but she'll have a little bit of a bid.
And this is a great position for Maria to
Look how
be
far
in.
she's made it up after her second shot.
Wow, and getting that full run up and just being able to commit to a driver on that third shot, that is just great. She's in a good place. Still 2 strokes to play with before her par. Well, looks like we got caught up just a little short of that mound there for her upshot.
Heather with a nice window to approach the green, and she will be in circle 1 for a little bit of a tester there, but the putt so far has been
Maria,
pretty good for Young.
look at this. How that is just awesome that Maria was able to give the birdie bid right there, landing safely, no doubt, for the tap in par. Awesome way to play this hole.
Again, blind look there for Hansen as she kind of tosses it to the wind, but she'll be looking for her par after that.
Jessica giving it a bid.
Again, wants to try and save a stroke there after she struggled to get off the tee and battled her way up here to circle 1, but it's just short. Heather with a great putt, nails it. Nice putt
Nailed
from
it.
Heather. She'll finish her front 9 at +2. Not too shabby here at the fort. And Ella's in for her par.
Awesome. A par here is a great score. And no work there.
Happy with the 5 here. Gaining strokes most likely on the field as we had 55% or above bogey or worse on hole 9. And that wraps up our front 9 coverage here on day 3 from the PDGA Pro World Championships presented by Grip 6. Zoe, thanks so much for joining me here for commentary.
And thank you for having me. Thank you, all of you out there, for viewing this coverage. Be sure to come back for the second half.
We're actually going to go ahead and proceed with back 9 coverage of this very round. So if you want to come back for more Jessica Weese, Heather Young, Ella Hansen, and Maria Oliva, this is the spot. It's day 3 of the World Championships, and you're watching OTB TV.